How the hell did he pop back up so easily? Hello everybody. Finally, I can actually do a May wrap-up video. I usually don't do these types of wrap-up videos because I don't read a lot in a month, maybe one book. And doing a wrap-up for just one book just seems like kind of a waste. But in the month of May, I don't know what possessed me, but I actually read enough books to qualify me to do a May wrap-up video. I'm amazed because in the month of May, I actually finished reading 8 books. 8 books and 1 DNF, but that's not the point. The point is I read 8 books. I'm surprised myself. I was like, the reader in me still lives. So the first book that I read, technically listened to because it's an audiobook, is So I Lied by Chelsea Akaso. And this book is about 3 friends whose names I completely forgot because honestly, I didn't enjoy this book whatsoever, so I couldn't even be bothered to remember their names. It's about these 3 high school friends that goes to a bachelorette party / gathering between the 3 of them at this remote Airbnb, and then one of them dies. And then figures out like who died, why they died, how they died, so on and so forth. I give this book, like I don't know if I said it, but I give this book a 2-star out of 5 because everybody was just so despicable. None of the main characters had any redeeming qualities. I did not enjoy this book whatsoever, and the plot twist at the end was just so dumb. It was just so stupid that I'm just like, I can't believe I wasted my time. This book was, I think, like 9 to 10 hours audiobook. I mean, thank God I was cleaning my room and the house whilst listening to it, so I didn't feel that bitter at how bad it turned out. But at the same time, I'm like, wow, there goes my time, completely wasted over this not a very good book. That's all I can say. The next book I finished is Aftermath by M.K. Ahern, and this is an ARC, which is Advanced Reader's Copy. I received it from the author, if I'm not mistaken, and this book is about, I can't remember, honestly. My memory is so bad. But basically, it's a Spencer Reid inspired story. So we have our Spencer Reid character. He is off the field because he made a mistake when he was in the field previously, and it got his partner killed, and he kind of has PTSD over it. And he goes to this seaside city, I think, seaside port city, where there's this cold case murders that happen and it was never solved. So he received a tip and he's just like, I gotta check it out. And that's when he meets Lenny or Lenore, and these 2 work together to find out who is the murderer of the town. And I give this book a 3 out of 5 rating, and I don't really have much to say about it. Like, I enjoyed it. It was a fun book. There were some instances that kind of annoyed me, which was the kind of insta love that happened between our 2 main characters. And the reason I say this is because it's like they fell in love quite fast. It's like they only met, and then next thing you know, within the month, they're already professing deep love for each other. And I just find that to be kind of a bit skeptical. But then I am a skeptic and jaded, so I'm not sure if it's a me bias or I just felt like the romance was going a bit too fast, you know? So the next book that I finished is The Garden of Evening Mists by Tan Tuan Eng, and this book I give it a 5 out of 5. This book is about our... Seriously, what is up with my memory? I cannot remember the names. Actually, you know what? I don't know how to describe this book. All I know is that I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 5 out of 5. I loved the ending because it made me question, like, I want to know more, but at the same time, I know that no more will be given because that's not the point of the book. So I'm just kind of like left with this void, this empty feeling of like, I need to know more, but then you're not giving me any more. So what are we going to do now? I really enjoyed this book. To say that there's a few of my friends who read this book who cried. I didn't cry. Not that the book didn't move me emotionally or anything. It's more like I felt like there was too much emotions that I was feeling whilst reading the book, that I was confused on whether I should cry or whether I should laugh or what. Because when reading about this book, I finally could see how bad it was for the Malaysian people who were in these internment or like basically slave camp. And because it's like, I was born in 1993, and obviously by that time Malaysia already has its independence, and I never had to experience that, thank God. So reading about the experience that the people who were in the internment camp experience is just kind of like, it's jarring, but also what the fuck, you know? It's just like, I'm just like, I can't believe this actually happened to Malaysians, you know? I guess it's like the best thing I can say about this book is like, it gives a fair view of Japanese people in my opinion, because it's like, Japanese people, like Malaysians, there's good and the bad, and not everybody's the same, not everybody's cruel. But I don't know, this book, it's a really good book. I'm really giving a really, really bad review. I don't know, this book, end of the day, I really enjoyed this book, and you should definitely read it. So the next book, the fourth book that I finished, and this was like, I started reading this series because I wanted to do reading the Old Kingdom series again. I read this series like 15-16 years ago, and I recently gotten them all for my Kindle, and I'm like, you know what, let me just start reading these series again. I actually wanted to do a different type of video. I wanted to do a read Dark Academia with me for a week, but then it completely changed into reading the Old Kingdom series. It was supposed to be a week, but then I am quite a slow reader apparently, so now it's been the third week and I still haven't finished like the last two books. But that's not the point. The point is, I read Sabriel by Garth Nix, and I gave this book a 5 out of 5. I really enjoy it. I feel like there's nothing wrong with this book in my eyes. I'm pretty sure if somebody else read it, they're gonna find some flaws, but for me, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it 15-16 years ago. I still enjoy it now. Is it the best fantasy YA book that I have read? No. Is it the best ever? No. Best written? Not exactly. No. But I really enjoy it because it's straightforward. It's about Sabriel. She is the Abhorsen. It's a very, I can say it's quite a generic plot, but then this book did come out in the 90s. So it's about Sabriel, who received the message from her dad, who is the Abhorsen, which is basically the sheriff of the dead in the Old Kingdom, and he is in trouble and she's worried and she has to go save him. Basically, that's the plot. The easiest way I can explain the plot. I really enjoyed it. It's very simple, straightforward. I like her characterization. She is this young lady who knows what she wants, and whether or not she knows how to get there or how to do it, she's like, it's fine, I'll figure it out as I go. And I really like that. The next book is Lirael by Garth Nix, which is the second installment in the Old Kingdom series. And this book, it follows Lirael 19 years, I think, after Sabriel's. So the reason why Lirael for me is so tedious and so annoying to read is because it comes right after Sabriel, and I love Sabriel's characterization. I just feel like she's such a fun character to read. She knows what she wants, she knows how to get it, and then she's very decisive in her decisions. Unlike Prince Sam and Lirael. Like, I understand, like, they're all young when their stories started, but after a few chapters of listening to them in their self-pity, self-wallowing pit of despair, it does get really tiring to read, you know. So that's why Lirael for me is 2.5 out of 5. And the next book I read is Abhorsen by Garth Nix. So I give this a 5 out of 5. I initially wanted to give this a 4 out of 5, but then I remembered that I cried towards the end, and I'm like, if any book manages to make me cry, it's an automatic 5 out of 5 for me. So this book picks up right after Lirael, and this is about how our main characters from Sabriel, main characters from Lirael, come together to defeat the big bad enemy, you know? And it's here, and it's because of Abhorsen that I appreciate Lirael more. Lirael on its own doesn't work as a book. It cannot be a standalone, because as a standalone book, it's very weak. The pacing is so slow. The characterization or the character arc is just so it's just so annoying. But when combined with Abhorsen, because I definitely feel like Lirael and Abhorsen are actually one book but split to two, because it's like, it's when you read it back to back that you can see the character arc that's happening in Lirael really pay off in Abhorsen. But like I said, Lirael on its own it's not a good standalone book, but Abhorsen is. You can read Abhorsen and feel like you're not missing anything. You miss just a bit of depth and nuance in the main characters, but you really don't miss a lot. It's when you read it with Lirael, it really hits you in the feels of how much the characters grow, especially Lirael and Prince Sam. They grow so much, and it's there that I feel like they got the redemption arc that was sorely needed for me to actually like them again. I already like Lirael because towards the end she does get better, but it's Prince Sam that I'm thinking of. It's Prince Sam after I read Abhorsen that I'm like, okay, you know what? He's not that bad. I don't know if my reviews make sense. I feel like I'm just rambling on and on for no reason. So the next one is The Creature in the Case by Garth Nix. So this is a novella, and I decided to read this novella after Abhorsen because I felt like I needed a small break. And I don't give any ratings to this novella, and that's because I feel like novellas are too short for me to actually give a good rating, because it's like, I genuinely just enjoy novellas. It's short, it's sweet, it gets to the point. I like it, so I feel like I don't know how to give a rating, because I'm just like, I usually just enjoy most novellas. Oh my god, I just realized there's a hole in my shirt. That's not the point. So recently I just finished this yesterday. I finished Clariel by Garth Nix, and this one I give a 3.5 out of 5. And this book talks about this book is set 600 years before Sabriel, so it's a prequel, and it's about Clariel. She's the granddaughter of the current Abhorsen. She really loves the forests, but being a lady in a noble family, she can't just go run away to the forest and live her best life. And there's political intrigue, and then something happens to her family and she wants revenge. But the question is would the revenge be warranted? Actually, no, that's not the question. The question is, would she be okay after getting her revenge? And is the revenge worth it? Yes, that's the correct question. I really cannot think, because it is, like I said, 3 in the morning. I really shouldn't have filmed this at 3 in the morning, but I couldn't sleep, so here we are. The reason I gave this book a 3.5 out of 5, I'll just give a short review because I think I gave a full review in the reading vlog. So the short gist of it is, number one, I felt like there was a pacing issue. Like the first half of the book just took forever. Just took forever for anything to happen. And there's like a lot of political talk, political intrigue, and I thought it was going somewhere, but it didn't. And then the latter half of the book, finally things picked up speed, but then it went at a breakneck speed that it just made me question, okay, if we could go on a breakneck speed in the latter half of the book, why couldn't it be the same in the first half? So basically it's like pacing issue. And the second thing is, the author really cannot write any romantic scenes. He's just not good in the romance section of any book. Because at least with Sabriel, I kind of get it, because they are in a high-strung, high-stress environment. Whether or not you like it, you're bound to fall in love. But in Clariel, it just felt so clunky that I'm like, I don't think this author is good at writing any romantic scenes. So there's that. There's one book that I did not finish, and it is Any Duke in a Storm by Emily Howard. And I was like halfway through this book. I was listening to the audiobook, but after I think 6 to 7 hours, I just couldn't do it anymore. I just kept getting angrier and angrier listening to it, because my god, the two main characters, one, the male main character just kept saying, oh my god, she's such a Viking, she's so hot, she's so strong, such a Viking. And then the female character is just kind of like, oh, he's such a pirate. And I'm just, sorry, I had to burp. And I'm just like, okay, it's been 6 to 7 hours. Can we just quit it with the whole Viking and the whole pirate shit? I've just had enough. It's so annoying. And also, I don't like how the female main character is basically inspired by Bonnie Bess, I think, the pirate Bonnie Bess. And she is written to be this not liberated, but liberal kind of modern woman. She sleeps with anybody that she likes, man, woman, whatever. She's down for it. But at the same time, I didn't appreciate how the author writes her out to be a liberal, but at the same time still makes her kind of shy in the bed when she is with the male main character, that I'm just like, that doesn't really compute for me. Because if this is a woman that's so used to sex, that's so used to all types of sex, basically all kinks, she has tried it out, and suddenly she's shy with the love interest, why? I don't understand. It was just giving me weird vibes, kind of like, oh, she is this sexually liberated, sexually experienced woman, but also giving virginal, pure lady, and I'm like, that's just not my vibe. Also, the other thing that really annoyed me when I was like listening to this book was there's a child character in this book, and she's so annoying that I'm just kind of like, can we just kill her off? Why is she even here? Ay. But yes, I DNF that. So, other things that I did in May is, as for movies, I finished 2 movies, both of which I watched in the cinema. So the first one is Blood Brothers, which is a Malaysian movie. It's about this band of found family, aka, Blood Brothers, and they work in this, I think, where do they work as? I forgot. Bodyguard. Yes, they work in the bodyguard business, but it's also bodyguard for gangsters and whatnot, and it's fun. I did not have any expectations going in to watch this movie. I just went to watch it because my niece wanted to watch it, and on the day that we watched it, there was a meet and greet, and I was thinking, you know what, might as well. It's not every day that I can see celebrities, so let's just go. And I watched it. I really, really enjoyed it. I definitely recommend to everybody to watch it, not only to support the local movie industry, but also genuinely, I feel like Malaysian movies seriously has improved. My qualm usually for Malaysian movies is that I don't like their dialogue. It seems so stilted. But here, their dialogue seems so natural. It just seems like, yes, that is probably how KL people speaks. And what else? The only thing that I didn't like about the movie, but I think this is more nitpicky for me, it's when the fight scenes are great, don't get me wrong, but the thing that I didn't like about it is that the fight scenes didn't have weight to it. Because when you watch John Wick, right, yes, it is quite ludicrous to see John Wick. No matter how many times he is thrown off a building, stabbed, punched, shot, he is still alive, but it still has weight. He's still limping, his face is still like black and blue, he's in pain, you know? But in this movie, Blood Brothers, Shafiq Kyle's character, he was punched in the face from the start of the movie towards the end of the movie, and he just seemed fine. There's one scene in one character, I think his name is Pablo, I think he got hit by a sledgehammer and he just popped back up like a jack in the box 5 seconds later, and I'm like thinking, wouldn't that hurt? Wouldn't you take a few minutes to recalibrate yourself? A sledgehammer is not soft, neither is it light, so I don't understand how the hell did he pop back up so easily. Another thing that I didn't quite like is the blood splatter in Blood Brothers. And the reason why I say this is because there's this one scene where the bad guy is killing one of our side characters, and he's just like chopping or like smashing his head with a machete, and then when he turned around, mind you, this guy's wearing white pants, it's still pristine, and I'm just like, is it supposed to be that way? Because I watch a lot of true crime, I watch a lot of I obviously love John Wick, so I know, I kind of relatively understand how blood splatter goes, and if you hit a living human on the head with a machete when the blood is still pumping in his veins, that blood will spurt out. So the fact that you're not drenched in blood when you turn around just kind of makes the immersion for me a bit weak. But then again, it is nitpicky. Oh, and the third thing, again, it goes back to the fighting scenes. It's when it's the audio that they use. For example, there's this one scene, I think it's Pablo, he was using like an army knife, and then obviously there's going to be some sound effects, but the thing is, the sound effects that they use is like a really long swing, and in my mind, when I hear that sound effect, I'm just like thinking, okay, he's taking out a samurai, like it's a really long blade or something. But then when I look at the screen, it's just a really short army knife. Then I'm just like, then why did we have this long swing sound of the sound effect? Like, it doesn't make sense for me. Was I the only one that noticed it? I don't understand. Did nobody else notice it? Or am I just being too nitpicky? So the next movie that I watched is Final Destination Bloodlines. I really, really enjoyed this. I watched it twice. The first one with my friend and the second one with my sister-in-law. It was fun. I give this a 3.5 rating, even though I did say I really, really enjoyed it. But this is because there's some things in the movie that the characters did that I just find so dumb. And I just couldn't get over it. But overall, the enjoyment is really great. The death scenes were fun to watch because it was different from the rest of Final Destination. How they all died, it's different. And there's funny scenes in it. Definitely enjoyed it. I think they did great. I think the new Final Destination really did pay a good homage to the series. Really enjoyed it. Definitely recommend. And other miscellaneous things that happened in May. So, I finally listened to Epic the Musical. It was amazing. It's not even was. It is amazing. I didn't know it was a legit a musical, because how I learned about Epic the Musical is because Calypso's song went viral on TikTok, and I just find it so funny, like all the people dancing to her song, especially when she asked Odysseus, it's like, oh, who's Penelope? And we have that 5 second of silence that I just find it hilarious. I didn't know it. I thought it was like from a movie or something that I didn't know about, and it turns out it's from a musical that was created by Jorge Rivera Herons. And I'm just like, okay, let me just give it a listen. Maybe I'll like it. And I listened to it and I'm in love. I'm obsessed. I listen to one of the songs at least like once a day, and that's like a minimum. My true minimum is like I listen to a lot of songs from the musical a lot of times per day. So at first, my favorite song is Love in Paradise, which is Calypso's song. That was my first absolute favorite song. But surprisingly, the more I listen to the whole musical, it's like 2 hours plus. The more I listen to it, the more my favorite song changes. Right now, my favorite song for some reason is Suffering, followed by Scylla, and Ruthlessness, obviously still Love in Paradise, and for some reason Thunderbringer. But I think that's because I really like Neil Illustrator's work when they're animating or doing the animatics for Thunderbringer, because I found it so funny that Zeus is out there trying to kill Odysseus' crew and he's just like flexing all the time. I just found it hilarious. So yeah, I guess that is my May wrap up. I don't know if this video makes sense because I just kept rambling on for no reason, and I hope my reviews make sense, because filming this at 3 a.m. whilst recalling the things that I have read weeks ago, which I do not recall, is beyond me. I really should work on my memory because I'm only 32, but I feel like I can barely remember what I did yesterday. So, but anyways, that is the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, leave a like. If you really like it, do subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.